Hey, welcome back folks to another video with the Espresso doc. Today I'm going to talk about the most essential tools you need to make the perfect espresso every time. These tools are going to help you prepare your puck, which means having the right amount of coffee evenly distributed for the perfect extraction every time. Now, can you pull a decent shot without all of these tools? Yes, but you'll find yourself often having trouble with pressure, channeling issue, and cleaning up a much bigger mess than otherwise. And at the end, just a worse tasting cup of coffee than if you had used them. They're going to save you a lot of trouble and frustration, and honestly, it's just a lot more fun to use these tools to make coffee. I use most of these tools almost every time, and some of these are, in my opinion, a must-have, and some of these you can probably do without. I'm going to start with the most essential tools and leave you the less helpful tools last. So let's go. First, we have the distribution tools. So this is the WDT needle distribution tool. And this is the Espresso distributing tool. The WDT, or the needle distribution tool, you use to break up any larger clumps of coffee after you grind your coffee. Coffee distribution tool, or the Espresso distribution tool, you use to evenly distribute the grinded coffee in your portafilter and your basket. These, in my opinion, are probably the most important, along with the scale. The scale you're gonna use to measure the right amount of espresso every time. So depending on the machine you're using, some are gonna use 18, some are gonna use more or less for a double shot. And what I do is I just use this cup, you zero it out, and then just pour your coffee. And my recommendation is that you get one of those scales that show you the milligrams as well. So the reason why I say it's important to have a coffee specific scale that shows the milligrams as well is when you have, let's say, 9.6 grams of coffee and you use your kitchen scale instead, it's still gonna show 9 grams. So you're not gonna be able to tell where exactly you are with your measurement. And that's almost a whole gram of coffee, which can make a difference when making espresso. So that's why I recommend you just get this one. They're also a lot more compact, and they're not that much more expensive than the regular kitchen scales. I'm gonna leave a link down below where you can find one of these. In fact, I'm gonna leave a link for all the tools down below. It's also, I forgot to mention, it's also rechargeable with Type-C. So that's a lot more convenient than just the hassle of kind of changing batteries every once in a while for the regular kitchen scale. So yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the funnel. Okay, so a funnel is used to keep the mess to a minimum. For example, whenever you're grinding your coffee, you see that when it's time to pull the portafilter out of the placeholder, coffee just almost always spills all over. With the funnel, you can contain all the grinded coffee inside and not have to worry about cleaning up after yourself every time. It's also very useful whenever you're using the needle distribution tool. It's almost impossible to use the needle distribution tool without making a mess and without having coffee spill. The only downside is whenever you put the funnel on, you can't really put the portafilter in the placeholder on the Barista Express. It gets kind of awkward, so you have to press the button with the other hand and stay still below the placeholder until the grinder is done. That's why I just use this cup or container and just put it below, wait until it's finished. But I know there is a Barista Express specific funnel that fits perfectly onto the holder, and you can press the button with that funnel. Next we have the tamper. This one you can probably do without. I sometimes use this one and sometimes use the tamper that comes with the Barista Express. The only reason why I prefer to use this one is because it has a built-in spring that produces 30 pounds of pressure every time. So it kind of removes the guesswork of how hard you have to press your coffee in your portafilter. But in my opinion, if you don't want to, you can use your tamper that comes with the machine. Every machine I think comes with a tamper except the cheaper versions like the Longi $100 machines. For those, I do recommend getting a better tamper. This one is around like $20 or $30. I also like the threaded bottom because it kind of gives you that satisfying look on the puck at the end. I'm also gonna be giving away one for one of my subscribers. All you have to do to enter is comment on one of my last 4 videos. The one that comes with the Barista Express has this kind of like a ring that is an indicator of whenever you pass that ring on the portafilter, that means that's when you stop tamping. So it's right about here. So your coffee is gonna be here and you're gonna press, it's gonna come down to here, then you stop. So in my opinion, it's just like a personal preference. I like to have more gadgets, but if you don't want to spend that extra $20-$30, you can just use the one that comes with the machine. So that's it for the most essential tools. These are the tools that I use, I want to say, every time I prep a puck and make espresso. For the less helpful tools that you don't really need, but it's kind of nice to have, you've got the tamping station, you've got this mirror to watch your bottomless portafilter shot, the puck screens, and the razor dose trimming tool that comes with the Barista Express. Okay, so let's start with the tamping station. I find it very useful just because you can put your portafilter on there and have both hands available to prep your puck. Otherwise, you would have to just use one hand to hold all your stuff, like the distribution tools and funnel and whatnot, and also kind of have to then use the edge of your counter to tamp the coffee. This way you can do everything in one place. So yeah, I think it's totally worth it. Next we have dosing trimming tool. This is kind of like an alternative to a scale, just because you can always put extra coffee if you don't know how much you've got in your portafilter. You can put extra coffee in there, tamp it, and then just shave off the extra with the razor. So it kind of shows you how much coffee you need before you put it in the water head and pull your shot. Then we have the puck screens. The puck screens you don't really need if you don't have a bottomless portafilter. This thing is used on top of your puck to help with the water distribution and in turn better extraction. It also helps having a cleaner water head afterwards, so you don't have to clean your water head, even though I recommend flushing your water head every time after you pull a shot. And lastly, we have the mirror, which is also something nice to have if only you have the bottomless portafilter, because it's used to look at your shot and your extraction if you're using your bottomless portafilter. Okay, so lastly, a few honorable mentions for coffee items. Go with the knockbox. There's a couple of different options from Breville right next to my espresso machine, so you can easily dispose of your coffee right after you're done pulling your shot. Then there's this container that keeps your coffee fresh for longer. It seals pretty well, and it kind of tells you the date when you opened your coffee. Lastly, this shelf that I found on Amazon that keeps all your stuff in one place and neatly organized. You don't even have to drill any holes. You can just, it comes with a sticker on the back, so you can just stick it anywhere you want. And put all your stuff there. So that's that. I think I covered all of the tools that I use. I'm going to prep one puck now and pull a shot and show you all of these tools in action. Okay, so first we're gonna weigh 18 grams of coffee. We're gonna get our double shot basket. First, we're gonna use our WDT needle distribution tool. Then we're gonna use the distributor. Let me see how that looks. And finally, we're gonna tamp our coffee. And now the puck is ready to go. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I try and answer every one of you guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.